operator, let's go ahead and get ready to take that Chapter 3 test by going through our review guide together. Let's start with the first one. What is this expression simplified? Well, because I'm adding, I'm simply going to add the like terms. I'm going to take these and reform them because I'm adding. I could take 1/3 W, and I can add it to 1/2 W. In fact, I'm just going to group them side by side here. So we have a positive 1/3 W, and then another positive, so this would be plus 1/2 W. And I got a -2, so this is plus a -2, plus 3. All right, I know I need like terms here. I can multiply 3 times 2. Right, I can turn this to this 1/3 to a 2/6 by multiplying both the numerator and denominator by 2/2. That's going to equal 2/6. All right, so this is going to be 2/6 W. I'm going to take this 1/2 and multiply it to 3/3. 1 times 3 equals 3. And let's see, 2 times 3 equals 6. Now my denominators are the same. We needed this denominator here to be the same. I'm going to highlight it for those that forgot how we do this. We need 2 and 3 to become the same denominator. We're changing them by multiplying by 2/2 and 3/3. Those are just forms of 1. I can multiply anything to 1 and it's itself. It just looks different here. So now we got the 6 here, and now I'm going to use my pen to put plus 3/2 over here, or 3/6, excuse me. Now my common denominator is there, 6 and 6. And now this is W's. And I'm going to add this to, well, -2 plus 3. 3, that's like 3 minus 2. That's going to be 1. Now when I add these together, 2 plus 3 equal 5. So this is going to be 5/6 W plus 1. So there is my answer. Let's put it in green. Now I'll put it in blue over here. Okay. Now I'm going to go on to number 2. Number 2 says, what is the value of this? Well, this is going to be different. Because it's negative right here, I have to take it and multiply it to everything inside of here. So this turns to a -7W. And then a negative times a positive 8 will be a -8. All my signs turn to the opposite sign. Now I can bring it over here underneath their like terms. I got -7 W. I got -8. And now I can start combining. Well, -5 and -8 make -13. And -7 and 2W make a -5W. So I should have -5W minus 13. All right, let's go ahead and go to number 3. Number 3 says solve the equation. That's pretty easy. I want to get x by itself. Remember, that's the goal here. So I'm going to move everything else away from it. I'm going to do that by taking this positive 5/8 and minusing 5.8 from it. Whatever I minus from one side of this equal sign, I minus from the other side. X comes down all by itself. Equal sign comes down. This is subtracted itself, so that's 0. We're not going to put that down. Now I'm subtracting over here. I need to borrow 1. So I'll borrow 1 from here and get 6. 14 minus 8 is 6. My decimal comes down. 6 minus 5 is 1. So I should have 1.6 for this answer. Number 4, remember, we are looking for x. So I am trying to isolate everything from that x right there. I'm multiplying 2/3 to it. So I know doing the opposite would be multiplying 3 over 2 to 2 over 3. Now I know 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 over 6 is 1. I got x by itself. Whatever I multiply to one side, I multiply to the other. So I'll multiply 60 to 3 over 2. I know 2 goes into 60 30 times, and 2 goes into 2 one time. This will give me 30 times 3, which equals 90. So this is going to equal 90. All right, off to number 5. Once again, I'm trying to isolate my variable, which means I'm trying to find x. All right, so in this case, I'm going to do PEMDAS backwards. I look for the subtraction and addition first. I see there's like terms, I can do that with right here. So the opposite of negative 13 is to add 13. Whatever I add to one side, I'm going to add to the other side. This is going to give me 2 over 5x is equal to, well, 13 minus 11 would be 2. Now I'm going to multiply this side to 5 over 2. So the reciprocal, 2 over 5. I know this will give me 5 times 2 is 10. 10 over 10 is 1, so x would be by itself. Whatever I do to one side, I do the other side. So I'm going to multiply this to 5 over 2. Well, with the 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, I can cross them out, which leaves me 1 times 5, and that's 5. All right, number 6 is over here. I've got to combine like terms on opposite sides here. I'm going to take the biggest one and bring it over, so it'll be positive. So I'm going to turn this to a add 7x to this side to get rid of it, which means I'll add 7x to this side. This is going to give me 4 is equal to negative 2 plus 3x. Now I'm going to isolate my variable. I'm going to take this negative 2 and add 2 to it. And then I'm going to have to add 2 to this side. This will leave me 6 over here. And it's going to equal 3x. Now I'm going to divide 3 away to get x by itself, which means I divide 3 from here. That tells me answer number 6 pretty easy. X is going to equal 2. All right, let's go ahead and do number 7. What is the solution here? First, I'm going to distribute properties. 3 times 1 will be 3. 3 times negative y will be negative 3y. Now that has to equal 15. Notice I don't take that 3 and bring it across the equal sign and multiply the 15. Now I'm going to get rid of my numbers next to y, and I'm doing PEMDAS backwards, so I have to look for subtraction and addition first. I see right here I have 3, so this is a positive 3. I can get rid of it with a negative 3. Whatever I do to one side, I do the other. And now my equation gets a lot simpler. Negative 3y is going to be equal to, well, 15 minus 3 is 12. Next, I'm going to get rid of this negative 3 by dividing it by negative 3. Whatever I divide by one side, I divide by the other. Y comes down. Equal sign comes down. And 12 divided by negative 3 would be negative 4. All right, let's go to number 8. It says, what is the value of x from the following equation? Well, if I was to go ahead and do this, I would once again, I'm looking for x right here. Okay, that means I'll have to subtract 5 from this side. Remember, I'm trying to isolate my variable here, and I got to follow PEMDAS backwards. That's a sad map. Somehow or another, I got green ink. So I'm going to look for subtraction and addition first. I see I'm adding 5, so I'm going to subtract 5. Whatever I do to one side, do the other. This gives me 3x is equal to, well, 32 minus 5 will give me 27. Now I got to get 3 by itself, so I'm going to divide it away. And whatever I divide from one side, do the other. The reason we're dividing is because 3 is being multiplied to x. The opposite of multiplication is division. X is going to come down now that I have 3 divided by 3, and that's 1. That's what I want, 1x left over. And now I have 27 divided by 3, and that's 9. So this is going to be 9. All right, number 9 says an electrician charges $45 for a service call and $35 an hour. What is an equation that represents the number of hours worked if the cost is 330? And this is a misprint. I got to fix this really quick. Hold on. All right, I got it all figured out. It should have been 255. So what are the number of hours? First, an equation. I know that I have $35 an hour, so this is going to be 35 H, because H represents the number of hours I'll be multiplying to 35. And I get $45 for a service call. So I'm going to add $45 of my fee. I'm not going to get $45 an hour. I just get $45 for showing up. And it says, represents H worked if the total cost, in other words, what I made was $255. Now it wants us to solve it and find the number of hours, which is going to be our H. And go back to black ink because I'm not crazy about this green color. I know I'm going to have to subtract 45 from this side. I understand that because I'm going to do PEMDAS backwards, which means I look for addition and subtraction first, and I did. Then I'm going to minus 45 from this side. It's going to give me 35H. It's going to be equal to 210. I have to find out how many times 35 goes into 210. I'm going to cheat here and get my calculator out like I know you guys probably will. 210 divided by 35 is going to give me 6. So I'm going to divide this by 35. Because that's the number in front here. 35 divided by 35 is 1, and I got 1 H left over. That's what I want. And then I have to divide 210 by 35, and we just found out that gave us 6. All right, let's look at the last one here. It says, what is the solution? What is the solution to z over negative 2.1 is greater than 3? I'm going to rewrite this because that's going to be too hard to work around. Make a little mark here to represent z. Now, how would I solve this? Well, remember this is just a 1. I know I'm divided by negative 2.1, so I'm going to multiply by negative 2.1. Whenever I multiply to one side and multiply to the other. This means z is going to be bigger than, well, 3 times negative 2.1 would be negative 6.3. But I do realize here that I went ahead and multiplied by a negative number. So the second I did that, I'm obligated to turn my symbol in the other direction in order to get my answer right. All right, and wow, that was all of them that I had to do. So the rest of them are on you. Good luck, and I'll see you in class.